Welcome to Spiffy Dreams. Hi family, hi friends. Another update on the layout. I'm going to show you how to install these lights. We're not very difficult. They are sold from a Chinese company called We Are Honest, and I've gotten all my street lights from them throughout the years, and now they've got into these flashing railroad crossings. They also have ones with arms, and these are infrared, so IR detectors, and there's RR eyes on both sides of the crossings. And I did two crossings in my family room, so I'm going to show you the how-tos as far as what I did when I put this together, and then we'll run some trains at the end. So stay tuned for the drilling of holes. Making a mess. Anyway, that's part of it, right? Okay, so to start with, I'm just drilling some holes into the existing track and road base. And then it's probably a little too close. Anyway. Then I'm just taking a knife, and I've decided to cut one tie out of the roadbed. And so just being gentle not to destroy my tracks, because I don't want to have to redo them. So I will continue. There, we got it. There's one anyway. Alright, let's do the second one. There's the other one. Okay, I'm going to dig this out a little bit farther and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I've got a bigger hole. This is basically a round hole. So I'm going to get I've got a Dremel tool, and I've just put a regular drill bit on it. I'm going to use that from underneath to come up into the hole here and square it out. And it's really loud and noisy, so I won't bother you showing you that, but that'll be the next step. This is just a bigger bit. I believe it's a 5/16. I just went from inside track to inside track. You can kind of see that I nicked these ties a little bit, so that's my imperfections for sure. But I'll get this a square hole, and then I'll kind of show you the sensor and show you how I'm going to mount the sensor. Anyway, so okay, so this is the sensor, and these are your two infrared. There's a lighter one that produces, or I think it's the other way around. One produces, one receives. Anyway, so this little sensor in N scale is just all that this hole wants to have, and I don't know how much this is going to show up. We'll try. So looking at it in the hole there, it's not going to come all the way through, and you really don't want it to, because you got to still let your chucks and your couplers clear. But if you get it right to the plastic face of the sensor to the bottom of the metal track, which is about as far as you can go, it works out about right. And so you may be able to see that these ties on this side, oops, I'm going to shine the light in your eyes, they're held in by the glue and the ballast at this point. But if they happen to break out, it's easy enough to fix them and put another one back in place. So I'm going to put both of these in place, and I will glue them down, and I'll let you look at them when I'm done with that. So anyway, okay, forgot something. Should have just said something to you guys. So I've cut these sensors, and I've just cut just a small butterfingers. I just cut a little tag off of it, so this would have normally went there, and then I put a little heat shrink yellow on there to hold everything in place. On the board you have two places, one in, one out, so sensors on either side of your crossing. So you have to somewhere combine your wires. So I'm just cutting them and splicing them underneath the table. My board is in length on this side, but won't be. I'll have to add a feeder length on the other side to get it long enough to fit onto the board, and I'll show you that later. But we have sensors in, and it's really nothing fancy. It's just pretty straightforward. They're just glued in place. Let me see if I can get a track height look. I don't know if this is going to work very well. They're still down below the head of the rail, and I ran a car over it just to make sure that my coupler wasn't going to catch it, or the trip pin. and we're good. So we'll call it good. Anyway, so then the next step will be to put the crossing lights in, and I'll do that and show you how that works, and we'll just keep this process going. So hold on to your hats. Okay, got one of the crossing bucks in place. This is what they look like. They have these 3 little feeder wires on the end. Probably not going to be able to see them. Anyway, and that plugs into the board, or it plugs into your, there's an extension that comes with it as well. And they give you this one little wonderful little nut right there to put on the end of the thing. So my layout is constructed out of 3/8 plywood, and I just do foam on top of it. And so these are just about perfect if you're considering the 3/8 depth. And hold on, Lucas, my little grandson's here helping me out. So anyway, just something to consider if you have foam and such things. You might have to figure out a different way to hold them down and put them in place. But that will be that, and we'll put the other sensors in, and then we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So alright, so this is done. Not totally finished perfect, but it's close enough. Underneath the table, I filled these holes that I dremelled out earlier to set the sensors in place. I put some white caulk in the hole opening underneath the table, and then I reballasted it from the top back down, so the sensor kind of looks like a tie, but it's wider than a tie. There's no way I can hide the width of it. But in the overall look of the track, I mean, it's really not that noticeable. As well, I mean, okay, so yeah, you know it's there, you're gonna see it, but you know, that's how it works. So then let me set this down here, and so I have 4 sensors on this particular crossing. I don't know how well that's going to show up or not. Anyway, but yeah, you put your hand on the signal on the crossing, and then the lights light up. And I did about 9 inches from, say the crossing to the sensor. And every layout's going to be different based on what you have available to you to actually place the sensors into the layout. Here's the other sensors from the other direction. And I think they're maybe 8 inches on that way, 9 inches on this way. I can't remember exactly for sure, but anyway, just kind of placed them where I thought they should be. I'll have to worry about my siding another way, because I have cars I park in that siding, so if I was to park cars in that siding, my lights would be continually flashing. So on this sensor here, really odd, just want to let you guys be aware of it. I have fluorescent lighting as my lighting source here, and also in the train room. And the bulbs I just replaced these about a month ago because they were dim, and I put cool white in this room, in the family room. And this sensor I put all the sensors in, everything worked fine, and then I went and turned on my power, and my lights were flashing, so I'm like trying to figure out which sensor was giving me problems. I tore all of them apart, thinking maybe I did something wrong with wiring. It wasn't the wiring. Double checked myself. I could put the system together outside of the eyes being in place, and everything worked and functioned normally. But when I put them in place, then they would just start flashing if I had the power on. As soon as I would stick them through the hole, they would start flashing. So that made me think of lighting. So I turned off this LED light that was directly above this area, and sure enough, the problem went away. So I actually, at this moment, I got some older bulbs from my train room and switched them with the new bulbs that I had out here. But these say natural on them, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's a different color, because LEDs have different colors. Anyway, so that's something for people to think about in the future when you're doing your own crossings. It may be a problem, it may not be a problem, I don't know. I tried moving the light in different ways, and it was just the directness of the light was just too much. I took the chains all the way to the ceiling for the the light, and it still was kicking it. If I shine the light off of the main part of the layout towards the wall or even the other direction, it seemed like it worked fine, but if it was where it is right now, it would not work. So anyway, I think that's all the really problems I've had. I did another section, and I'll show you that in the video when I get the final and run trains around. So I've done a total of 2 crossings now and 8 sensors, and only one of the 8 sensors gave me any problems. And it wasn't the sensor. I switched the sensor from hole to hole, and it just wasn't that. So I mean, it was the hole itself, but not the sensor. So kind of weird. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll get some trains running here, and hope that helps somebody that wants to do the same project with your lights. Anyway, time to run trains. So here we go. We got some trains coming by. First one's a passenger train. My guess is this equipment has never been together in real life, but we don't really play by real life rules on my layout. The first and foremost rule is have fun. So we're gonna get this guy to get over here. He's kind of putting along for me. There we go. Anyway, I'll be quiet. So way over yonder we got a train hauling some riffraff, and I put a caboose on them. I know that cabooses aren't normally seen in today's society, but I know they still exist. I've seen them on work trains, and so that's what we're calling this, is a work train. So this crew's heading out to take care of some washouts and bring some riffraff with them. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed all this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. And always, love you lots. Have a wonderful day.